Hello friends, welcome to another enjoyable music theory session. In our last tutorial, we delved into pitches and clefs. Today, our focus shifts to rhythm. Rhythm is equal to beats plus silence. Let's understand it by listening to some music. As you tap along with the music, you're likely catching the beat. Most music styles have a rhythmic pulse, a beat, tapped with hands or feet. Moments of silence are called rests. Our journey today involves understanding how to notate beats and silence in sheet music. Let's explore step by step. In our previous session, we explored the musical staff. Beats are grouped into measures, or bars, when notated. A bar, or measure, is a fundamental unit measuring the time of a piece. Bars are a way of keeping beats organized into smaller chunks. Regular bar line, standard division between measures. Final bar line marks the conclusion of the music. Double bar line. This signifies a significant change, often the start of a new section. The time signature, found after the clef sign, tells us essential details about beats in each measure. In music theory, time refers to the pulse or beat. The time signature conveys this, found after the clef sign. Most music has 4 beats per measure, often written as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The time signature consists of 2 numbers, like 4 quarters, indicating 4 beats per measure, top number, and the rhythmic value assigned to each beat, bottom number. The time signature is crucial for understanding rhythmic structure. The common time signature is 4 quarters, but there are others like 2 quarters and 3 quarters. Now let's talk about notes. A musical note indicates pitch and duration. The value of a note is shown by its type. Starting with the quarter note, 1 beat, it's a filled-in, black note head with a stem. Why quarter? In 4 quarters time, it's like a quarter of the measure. The half note, 2 beats, is an empty white note head with a stem. Its name makes sense. It's half of a 4 quarters measure. Now, the whole note lasts for 4 beats. It's a white, empty note head without a stem, representing 1 4 quarters measure. Let's delve into the stem rule in music notation, which applies to quarter and half notes, and actually, any note that has a stem. When we write music, the stem is positioned on the right and points upward. However, when the note head is at or above the middle line, the stem shifts to the left and points downward. When the note is positioned on or above the 3rd line of the staff, stems extend downward on the left side. Conversely, when the note appears below the 3rd line of the staff, stems extend upward on the right side. Now, let's delve into an example written in 4 quarters time that incorporates various rhythmic values. We'll break down how to count through it. Look at the counts below the staff. Each quarter note has 1 number, representing 1 beat. Each half note has 2 numbers, indicating 2 beats. And each whole note has 4 numbers, representing 4 beats. Ensuring that the sum of all the rhythmic values in each measure aligns with the time signature is crucial. In 4 quarters time, which signifies 4 beats, it's vital to maintain harmony. For example, in the 3rd measure, observe 2 quarter notes, 1 beat each, and 1 half note, 2 beats. 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4 beats in total. Now, let's discuss rests, which are conceptually similar to notes. For every note value, there is a corresponding rest, indicating the duration of silence or a break. Rests signify how many beats to rest or not play. Here are some examples. The total rhythmic value in each measure, including both notes and rests, must still match the time signature. For instance, in this measure, we have 1 half rest, 2 beats, 1 quarter note, 1 beat, and 1 quarter rest, 1 beat. 2 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4 beats in total. So let's quickly review what we've learned so far. We begin with a time signature like 4/4, where the upper number indicates the number of beats in each measure, and the lower number indicates the type of note that receives one beat. A quarter note equals 1 beat. A half note equals 2 beats. A whole note equals 4 beats. In 3/4, there are 3 beats per measure, with the quarter note receiving 1 beat. Equivalent rests can also be used to fit the time signature. For 2/4, meaning 2 beats per measure, the bottom number signifies the value of each beat, which is a quarter note. The equivalent rests for 2/4 are also shown. Now we introduce eighth notes. These are represented by filled-in note heads with long stems, often accompanied by flags or beams. Beams can connect 2 eighth notes within 1 beat or 4 eighth notes across 2 successive beats. Rhythmic counting introduces an "and" between each beat number, representing notes that fall halfway between beats. Before learning eighth notes, we counted the beats as 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. These are downbeats. When eighth notes are involved, those on the ends become upbeats. Starting from the eighth note, we count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. This is because the quarter note equals 1 beat, and the eighth note is half of the quarter note, representing 1-2 beat with the and symbol. In summary, the main beats are 1, 2, 3, 4, known as downbeats. If it is a 1/2 beat or half beat, we call it an upbeat. Now let's explore 16th notes. Here, we further divide the 8th note into 16th notes, denoted by filled-in note heads with long stems, often with a double flag or beam. Beams can link pairs of 16th notes or all 16th notes within 1 beat. Since we are dividing the beat into 4 parts, the new counting method incorporates 3 symbols: E, and A, all representing upbeats. In this scenario, and or plus represents the offbeats, signifying notes between the regular main beats. Concerning 16th notes, we've subdivided the beat into 4 notes per beat, totaling 16 notes per bar in 4/4 time. E is articulated for the offbeat between the main beat and the subsequent and A is enunciated for the offbeat between the and the subsequent main beat. When reading, it follows the pattern: 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Then a new bar starts, and so forth. Now let's talk about dotted notes. When there's a dot after a note, it makes the note last half again as long. For example, a dotted half note, 3 beats, plus a quarter note, 1 beat, equals 4 beats in a 4/4 measure. If a note has a dot after it, it makes the note last half more. Here are some examples. A dotted whole note is equal to 1 whole note plus 1 half note, or 3 half notes. A dotted half note is equal to 1 half note plus 1 quarter note, or 3 quarter notes. A dotted quarter note is equal to 1 quarter note plus 1 eighth note, or 3 eighth notes. A dotted eighth note is equal to 1 eighth note plus 1 16th note, or 3 16ths. A dotted 16th note is equal to 1 16th note plus 1 32nd note, and so on. In music, meter helps organize beats into distinct groups, shaping the flow of music. Essentially, time signature and meter are essentially the same thing, but meter provides a more detailed analysis of the time signature. Meter explains how beats should interact, indicating strong and weak beats, thus adding rhythmic accentuation. There are 2 main types: simple meter and compound meter. Simple meter divides each beat into 2 equal parts, like 2/4 or 4/4, emphasizing main beats known as downbeats. If the top number in the time signature is 2, 3, or 4, it's likely a simple time signature. In simple meter, beats are organized straightforwardly. creating a clear, two-beat feel. Each beat is divided into 2 equal parts, establishing a regular pulse in the music. Compound meter divides beats into 3 equal parts, like 6/8 or 9/8, with different emphasis. If the top number is 6, 9, or 12 in the time signature, it's likely a compound time signature. This results in a triplet-like sensation, with 3 beats in each cycle. The grouping of beats in threes adds flow and diversity to the rhythm, creating a more intricate texture. When discussing meter in bars, we're essentially counting the beats in each bar. In duple meter, beats are grouped in twos, 2 quarters, 4 quarters, 1, 2, 1, 2. The first beat is strong and the second is weaker. In 4/4, there are 4 beats grouped as 2 plus 2. In triple meter, beats are grouped in threes, 3 quarters, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The first beat is strong, followed by 2 weaker beats. In 6/8, there are 6 beats: strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak. In 3/4, there are 3 beats grouped as 1 plus 1 plus 1. In quadruple meter, beats are grouped in fours, 4 quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first beat is often the strongest, creating a recurring pattern of strong, weak, regular, weak throughout the 4/4 measure. In 4/4, there are 4 beats grouped as 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. It's essential to note that depending on rhythmic accentuation, there can be multiple answers. For instance, 6/8 can be identified as compound duple meter or compound triple meter. The top number 6 confirms it as compound meter, but 6/8 can group beats into either 2 duple meter or 3 triple meter. Although triple meter is more common, duple meter is less common in the case of 6/8. In summary, whether you describe 6/8 as compound triple or compound duple may depend on the rhythmic accentuation, the feel of the music, and the stylistic conventions of a particular piece. However, the more conventional and widely accepted interpretation is to consider 6/8 as compound triple meter. Tempo is like music's speedometer, telling us how fast or slow beats go, measured in beats per minute, BPM. In Italian musical terms, tempo is conveyed through descriptors like largo, adagio, andante, moderato, allegro, and vivace, each representing a range of beats per minute. Largo, very slow and broad, 40 BPM. Adagio, slow, 60 BPM. Andante, at a walking pace, 80 BPM. Moderato, moderately, 100 BPM. Allegro, lively and quick, 120 BPM. Vivace, very fast, 140 BPM. These terms provide a general indication, acknowledging that tempos can vary based on interpretation. Adagio, listed at 60 BPM, might also be 54 or 68 BPM, and Allegro at 120 BPM might vary between 116 or 126 BPM, depending on context and interpretation by musicians. BPM, or beats per minute, indicates the tempo by specifying the number of beats in 1 minute. However, it doesn't reveal the note values. To convey precise tempo, both the beats per minute and the note value per beat are needed. For example, 100 quarter note beats per minute means there are precisely 100 quarter note beats in a minute. Likewise, 80 half note beats per minute signifies a rhythm consisting of half notes, with precisely 80 beats occurring in a minute. While BPM indicates the speed, defining the beat value, whether they are quarter notes, half notes, or other durations, is equally crucial. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for musicians to interpret and convey the intended pace and emotion of a musical piece. Alright, that covers the fundamental aspects of rhythm in music. Rhythm is essentially the foundation of music creation. It's where music begins, and grasping these concepts will undoubtedly enhance the quality of your music. Thanks for joining, and see you next time.